Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Creative Momentum with Meg Dunley. This is part of the first season of my podcast called the Chateau season because the interviews in this were done with the people who were at the residency while I was there in July 2025. Today, we're listening to an interview with Maddie Kimber. Maddie is a children's book illustrator and graphic designer and screen printer. She's from Illinois originally and now lives in Savannah, Georgia, America. Her work focuses on telling stories to kids in a respectful and creatively fulfilling way, not relying on bright colours and crazy visuals to grab attention, but instead she's exploring more mundane but impactful stories using animal characters. During this conversation, she shares with me her childhood experience of being an undiagnosed ADHD or having undiagnosed ADHD and how that informed her work. And she uses the animal allegory to help kids navigate big feelings without being patronising. This was really important to her. She spoke many times about this at the residency. And why remaining curious is central to her creative practice. She's inspired by artists like Louis Wain, Winnie the Pooh, who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh, Calvin and Hobbes, and she likes creators who respect children's intelligence while invoking imagination. She's also inspired by her mum, a therapist who has a gift for making people feel seen and heard. I really hope you enjoy this episode, and I love chatting with Maddie and getting to know her and seeing her beautiful work at the Chateau. Enjoy. Hi Maddie, thanks for agreeing to have a chat about your creativity. Can we start by you just introducing yourself with your name and where you're from?
I'm Maddie. I'm 25. I'm from Illinois in the United States, but I live in Savannah, Georgia now.
Beautiful, beautiful. Can you tell me what you do creatively?
Yeah, so I am a children's book illustrator. I'm also a graphic designer and a screen printer. My work focuses primarily on telling stories to kids in a respectful but creative, more creatively fulfilling manner. So I'm not keen on just using bright colors and crazy visuals to get children's attention. I'm more excited on more mundane but impactful stories, and I use a lot of animal characters as well.
I can see the moose behind you. And what's the other one?
Oh, there's a lady, and then there's a bear, a bunny, all sorts of things.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your creative process.
Yeah, so when I'm thinking about what I want to do for a project, oftentimes I'm thinking about either feelings I've had or experiences I had as a kid that were difficult to navigate. When I was little, I struggled a lot with undiagnosed ADHD, so oftentimes I have all of these ideas bouncing around in my head, and that is still relevant today, but being a kid, I didn't really know how to navigate these big feelings and these big issues. So when I'm thinking about narratives that I want to share with kids specifically, I think a lot about those feelings that I had being young, not having the nuance of being an adult to navigate the world. And then since I work with a lot of animal characters, I think of how I can represent these in a way that's both fun for kids, won't scare them, and also won't bore them, because the thing about kids is they don't like having a finger wagged in their face telling them this is the way you ought to do something. To me, it's much more interesting to find allegory through animals and then to represent that to kids in a way that's both engaging and fun for them to learn. Oftentimes that's a lot of just sitting, it's a lot of doodling, it's a lot of figuring out what fits for the story. And then I also do like narrative illustrations where I'm thinking about color, I'm doing color studies, thinking about how color engages different moods within not just kids, but everyone, that's sort of whimsical, fun, and interesting, where I'm not using color to tell you how I feel or how you should feel, but I'm using color in a way where you like look at it and you feel it too, you know? It's not, there's no certain way that I try to like sway someone's emotions with my work. It's more, I feel these things very deeply, so I use a lot of saturated colors, but you can have any sort of opinion on.
I love that. Who or what is your creative inspiration?
I have so many. For one, my mom. My mom's a therapist, so she's answering all the questions for people that I just present to them through art. She just has a way with people that I've always admired, where like when you talk to her, you feel seen, you feel heard. So I want to convey that same emotion through my work. Artistically, I've always loved Winnie the Pooh. I love Calvin and Hobbes. Louis Wain's one of my huge inspirations. He's known for painting anthropomorphic cats with gouache. And that's something that I also love to do. But he's such a master of color and brushstrokes. So just on a technical level, he's probably one of my biggest inspirations. And then like Milne, and oh my gosh, why am I blanking on who did Calvin and Hobbes? Bill Watterson. They both just, going back to what I said about respecting kids, have such a way with narrative where like they're teaching kids about being mindful, and like kids are still learning how to tie their shoes, but like it still resonates that these stories are important and these stories are a way of life, but they're not saying it in a way that it's like patronizing to kids. They're saying it in a way that's it invokes imagination, which I really admire.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your creative routine.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time with my sketchbook. The biggest thing that I carry with me throughout my creative routine is remaining curious. I think one of the best and worst things about being an artist is there's no perfect artist. You're always learning, you're always growing. So I think having a sketchbook really helps me practice my skills as an artist, but it also helps me get outside of my comfort zone. As an illustrator, I'm often working with clients, so it's kind of hard for me to like be super experimental within projects I'm doing for clients because they see my art presented to either Instagram or my website and they have a vision in mind of what they want. So I take very precautious steps of showing them the color, showing them the line art, without swaying too much outside of that. But my personal art and my sketchbook really gives me an exciting way to explore and to ask questions visually that maybe I don't have the answer to. And then again, when I'm working with clients, it's a lot of like exploring with color, exploring with value, trying to really tell a story through those elements. And then also just drawing a lot, drawing animals, drawing furniture, drawing people. I'm really interested in portraiture and how we can carry over human elements into animals. So drawing a lot of anthropomorphic animals just like living a human routine is really interesting to me. But anything that really keeps me asking questions and keeps me not getting bored of following a systematic routine every day.
I love that. Thank you. If you were to meet someone who's just at the beginning of their creative journey, or they're just wanting to explore how to do this, what are the pearls of wisdom that you would want to pass on to them?
I would say make bad art. And when I say bad art, I'm saying that with a grain of salt, in which no art is ever bad if it's bringing you closer to your vision. I think often people think of art, whether that's writing, whether that's painting, drawing, whatever, as like this higher level of being. Like artist, we know the tortured artist, our minds are so scrambled and dealing with so much, and we convey that in art. But I really think we should think about art like singing in the car. You don't do it because you need to have an endpoint. You do it because it's natural to humans to have fun and express themselves creatively. So I would say make art and just keep making. And then also really hone in on your technical skills as well, whatever that is, whether it's exploring color, whether it's drawing people, do life drawing. Just take the steps that you think feel right, not the ones that will get you to be someone else.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that interview. I really love how, as I said before, how she draws on her childhood experiences with that undiagnosed ADHD to just help other kids be able to navigate their big feelings without the nuance that comes with adulthood. I love her commitment to respecting children, not wagging fingers at them or being patronising, instead finding that allegory through animals that's engaging and fun. Her artwork is beautiful and fun, and you can see that in the interview and in the picture that's on the show notes, and also on her website. I love the emphasis that she has on just remaining curious, that, to always learn and grow as an artist and as a creator, using her sketchbook to explore and ask those visual questions that she doesn't have answers to, reminding us that there is no perfect artist. We're all just on a journey. And her advice to make bad art, with that caveat that no art is ever bad if it's bringing you closer to what you want, what your vision is. And it's just that reminder about how liberating that is to do that. Her comparison of making art to singing in the car, doing it not because you need an endpoint, but because it's a natural for us to have fun and express ourselves creatively. And just reframes that whole creative endeavour. Make art and just keep making. Hone your technical skills while taking the steps that feel right to you, not the ones that make you into someone else. I loved that interview, and I hope you enjoyed it too. If you want to find out more about Maddie and her work, you can find the details in the show notes. If you like this episode, please do like, share, subscribe and follow to help more creatives find their way into their creativity. As we lead into this busy time of year with Christmas only a week away, I hope that you are still finding moments, maybe microdosing your creativity, to keep that breath there for yourself and to keep things in perspective. Be kind to people. We never know what's going on. And until next time, keep building your own creative momentum.